Hey, what's going on, guys? I think I got the tech right today for the live stream. Welcome to iOshi's live stream for Wednesday, March 9th. Hope you're doing good. Brandon's here. Hey, what's going on? Good to see you. Hope my audio is coming through good. Hope this works. I'm just going to wait until I see. Yeah, looks like we're live. Cool. Well, Bravo's not with us today. We're going to miss him. He's wrapped up with some things, but I do have some special stuff for us today to kind of go over and look at charts and everything else. So let's do that. Cool. Brandon, nice. Yeah, thanks. We can hear you. Cool. All right. Well, guys, hope you're doing good. We had some really fun stuff going on yesterday in the markets, right? With a big pump yesterday in Bitcoin. Let me kind of walk you through the charts and what they were looking like, and then we'll kind of step back and look at the bigger picture is kind of what I was thinking. But cool. All right. Then anything else you wanna see or talk about or whatever, put it in the comments. But what I wanted to start with, let's do first is S&P. So let's go to the daily. I want to show you kind of where we are in the range here. And I do have the iOshi link. I'm going to blast the regular RSI, but the iOshi rainbow RSI so that we can get multiple time frames on one RSI track. But what I do normally for this is I'll delete these really low time frame ones. So I look at the daily. For the daily, we'll look at daily and 4 hour, right? So the white track is always the current chart time frame, right? So that's important. Let me zoom this. Oh, there we go. The white track is always the current time frame. And then the other ones are the colors as shown here in the tool. So you can change the colors and do whatever, but basically for the higher time frame stuff, I'll look at 4 hour for like more of a faster indicator than the daily. But also don't forget the resolution as this plots. It plots 1 bar at a time. So the resolution, you're not going to get all the movement in the lower time frame RSIs. Don't forget that. All right, it's not going to show you every move the RSI made. It's going to show you probably candle close values, absolute values on the lower time frame. So that's what I use it for. But basically, so we have a little bit of a bounce in equities as well as crypto today. Equities really started moving late yesterday at about 4 or 5 o'clock central, and kind of moved up overnight. And I know S&P is up about 100 points off the bottom. So a little bit of I guess you'd have a gap here in the chart, but here's kind of the way I see it is where we are in the fib range. And then I drew the structure in here, right? So what I'm looking for is I'm wondering if this is I was just playing around, but I'm just kind of wondering if this is a pattern, right? So we are trying to break through this 236 fib. So if you look at the ground or the fall down or for this correction, recall that when we were talking about it, it was like, hey, below 236, I'm bearish, but above 618 or 702, I can get bullish again. But obviously, if we're going to get there, we're going to have to climb up through, right? So what does this chart speak to me right now? I would say what I see is, guys, we have strengthening RSI. See that? We just made a higher low again on RSI. That to me is bullish. If I were trading this chart, I would look at, I don't have a break. We don't have a breakup yet on the daily, but to kind of give us a signal. However, one thing that I would be looking for is, and maybe take it back to here, I don't know, is that we need to make a higher high on RSI. RSI on the daily really needs to get above 50, I think, to start waving the flags and really getting excited. But we are seeing signs of perhaps this is a higher low here. And you have RSI bottomed here, way back here, a higher low here, higher low here. This does need to hold. We need to break above 50 to make a higher high for this trend to continue. That's how I see it. So it's promising. It's up. I think what was the last daily signal was sell signal back here. That's equities, that's S&P. We're rebounding. It's really in the face of this interesting turn we have, and I'm wondering if it's a tide change or just kind of a near-term, low-term time frame thing. DXY is falling, commodities are off a bit, and it's kind of a reversal, right? We had DXY, we'll look at that chart, but yeah, let me show you. So DXY, check this out. DXY here. So DXY, see it's falling here off the 99 and change level, 99 and a half, almost to 100. So DXY is falling. This would be, look at the RSI breakdown. In the purple here is, let me look. We have daily. I don't know why we're getting a little bit of a gap here, but it doesn't really matter. So let's just take that. So we have 4 hour in purple, white is daily. So see how the 4 hour led that? You just see it over and over and over. 4 hour leads, then you get the daily coming behind it. Right before here, 4 hour jumps up, daily moves up behind it. And then when you get a convergence of RSIs on one side of the RSI tracker or the other, it's a pretty strong signal. So that's what I look for when I do trading and signals and such, is you look for RSIs all parked on one side of the RSI track, signaling overbought or oversold, and you get a pretty strong reversal from that, like we had here, right? So the dollar, let's zoom out. I want to show you guys this. Where we are on the fib channel is we kind of bounced off the 702. It is, I'm not sure exactly how to draw it. Maybe we'll, because it's a high point, we'll take it there and then we'll take it to the absolute low point. So right there is a 702 rejection, right? So just know that the DXY or dollar kissed the 702. Will it get rejected? It's done so in the past. And so the theory is potentially, if the DXY starts weakening, you know, these two spots in the chart were really good for Bitcoin and crypto. Right, so a falling dollar will be good for crypto. Is this done? I don't know. When I look back, and we won't look at the crude, we'll look at the crude chart. When we look at the crude chart, it had a lot more chop at the top, kind of like painted multiple layers of bars, not just one up and one back, right? So something I'm watching for is, I'm not sure we're done yet. Look how thick, kind of like these previous tops were, right? Pretty thick, multiple days up here, multiple days up here. Even this, well, this had a couple days, but then it ranged here. You know, does this need a few days to paint, kind of give us some thickness here before further fall off? So, you know, we'll see that too. But we are off the highs, at least for today. So that's what's interesting, I think. And yeah, so that's dollar where we are. Let's look at crude, because I want to show you that chart. And I don't think we are, I'm not quite, oh, this was my little work I did earlier, but see, I'm thinking that, this is for crude oil, thinking that we may kind of bounce around here at the top. I'm not sure this is a shoot to the moon and immediately fall back, right? So we'll see that. But I do think that it'll make for a nice short once it happens. Let me show you why. You know, every time crude falls off the top, when it does reach a top and it does fall back, it's very violent. You know, they always say that bulls climb the stairs, bears take the elevator or whatever, jump out the window, whatever. You know, you see that. So a reversal and a fall, you see all these, and this is the daily chart, but you see how all these are pretty high angle. See, like this climb here is 27 degrees, and then the fall is, it's going to be, well, negative 75, but whatever. It's 100 and, you know, it's past 90, and then it's down at 105 degrees, so it's going to be 105 degrees. Whatever. Anyways, high angle, low angle, you can see that. High angle falls, low angle climbs. It's just classic charting stuff, right? So, you know, you see that a lot, and you know, I expect that once we do find a top, this is kind of what I was thinking for a trade idea. And again, this is futures and crude, whatever. But this is also pretends or works on any chart, really. So I'm wondering if we need a little more chop. This thing kind of does one of these, chop, 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 right? And we get some sort of a kind of a structural breakdown combined with a breakdown in RSI. And then we can be a nice short setup. So we'll see. You know, look at the RSI on the daily. Now this hasn't closed, and that's the thing. It closes in, I guess, 3 hours from now. But see, the RSI is coming back, right? It fell down. You know, does this maybe push back up into close a little bit, kind of hang out up here, maybe make a higher high and lower RSI, classic short signal, right? So that's what I'm looking at in crude. So what you have is you have equities strengthening off the bottom today. You know, could be a near-term thing. We'll have to see, you know, continued strength there. Dollars weakening a little bit on the day. Commodities are off the highs on the day. You know, they just went parabolic, right? So I think it's probably a little bit early in my book to call like a trendish reversal. But what you're seeing is you're seeing the start, or what you'd want to see for a tide change, if you will, and then to see more of a larger term reversal. You want to see that continue, right? And then I think if equities find strength, so dollar weakness, equity strength, I think Bitcoin and crypto find strength as well. So let's jump into Bitcoin. I know that's what we're all interested in. This is my, that's my, I'll show you this. This is my 1 hour signal map that I always have, I'm always working on, and for short-term signals. We'll look at that in a minute, but let's just get a clean slate chart here. I'm going to take the RSI pack off. Let's take the regular RSI off. There's another indicator I've been looking at. It's called ATR, which is average true range. And it helps you understand how big a candle is versus what the average candle size is. So it just kind of helps you understand statistically how big of a move something is. And so that's interesting. But let's look at the, let's kind of zoom out first. And I'll show you, actually, let's do it. I'll show you guys what I was talking about with the signal map, right? So when you look at, or when you're working with or looking at signals, you know, what I start with is the weekly, or actually the monthly. And that's a really low time frame, but very significant signal. Say these signals change 10 to 12 candles. So a monthly signal only changes from sell to buy, maybe 10, 12, or maybe more. But on average, probably 12 candles is what I was seeing, especially on all that backtest work I did on the 4 hour chart. But say 12 candles on average for a signal event. Now, yes, it can change, you know, with 1 or 2 candles, yes. It can take 20 candles, yes. But as a bell curve, and the average would be about 12. So when I said, hey, monthly, we'll go to the monthly. Monthly is under sell signal. Let me show you why. And the first, on the monthly, especially the monthly, take off everything, and we'll look at daily. RSI, maybe. Okay, we'll leave it on. Basically, see this, and this is Binance, so it works. But see this, we're still under sell signal on the monthly. It's a break and break a trend, break and break on RSI, it's weakening. This is gonna have to turn around, maybe at some point, or it may have to come in reset. We look at a lot of these RSIs, and what I like to do when I trade is I trade from one side to the other. So if I'm short, I take RSI signal from up here, and I trade it down here. And then I go long, I take the RSI signal from down here. Oh, sorry, you can't really see that. Take RSI signal down from here to here, and then long from the other way from here to here. So in the grand scheme, in the grand picture, Bitcoin was under a monthly sell signal back here in May of last year. So then we did see a bounce, but it was higher high and lower RSI, right, on the monthly. This is the kind of the biggest chart that I would look at. But the signal is a higher high and lower RSI on the monthly with the RSI break of this. So again, I think this goes back to my theory. Again, let's take the daily off. My whole theory of, I think the top is in, at least for the long term. I think what we could get, the best case scenario is we get some sort of relief or retrace, you know, before more down. And even if that's not the end of it all, like again, this is a great place to be getting out, to trade out, to try to trade back in. So what would that look like here on the RSI? You might get a little bit of strength here, then I think you get a continued fall down, something like that, right? So I'm a seller here, I'm a buyer here, probably not the monthly chart time frame. So probably not waiting for that. You know, I go to the daily, I like the daily, and then weekly is pretty strong. So I like weekly. But anyways, back to signals. That's why the monthly has a sell signal, right? It's a break and break here in this candle, break, break down below 65, break, right? You can see it again here. Break and trend. So you have these more low time frame signals. Didn't really quite get an official buy signal in my book on the monthly, but break trend, and what we're looking for is, and that's what, it's not too bad, right? Like, is that the start to something? Yeah, it could be. You have uptrend, downtrend, and then maybe sideways and maybe up. Up to here would be a break, and then again, what that would look like is we ride this up, we break that down, ride it down, we ride it back up. So again, that's monthly. So when I flash in the Telegram, when I flash the iOshi signal matrix or whatever you want to call it, the monthly is the largest time frame I'll look at. Sell signal currently, RSI fading, and then let's kind of go down the ladder. So there's monthly, and then I go to weekly, and here this is pretty optimistic, or this is pretty promising. So weekly RSI has reset. See, from the top here down to bottom. So we had a weekly buy signal here to here, right? So coming off the bottom, weekly went down to 30. So I like it. Strengthening. It didn't. We went from looking great to oh no on this candle, right? Didn't we? Back to looking okay. You know, from this RSI, it was like, are we going to, I mean, this is now a higher low, right? This has to close. This is a higher low. Do we need to come down here? You know, like, man, I hope not. We might. We'll see. But back to the signals. We have a long signal on the weekly. So it's good. You know, if as we trade or act with signals, as I'm doing 100% now, that's all I do is act on signals, nothing else. I just take signals and trade. So weekly's buy signal. That's good. Let's go to 3-day. If you look at a 3-day, with the RSI load, it kind of shows the same thing, but it's a little bit higher resolution, right? 3 days of buy signal. So the 3-day on average would I guess let's say the weekly signals would probably rotate back and forth maybe every 10, 12, 14 candles or something. So every 10, 12 weeks. And the 3-day would rotate possibly every 36 days, right? 3 times 10, 12. And so we are seeing it's still the same signal. Break and break from down here up above 35. Break this trend, we're above it now. It's a higher low. We haven't made a higher high yet, but you know, could we be working on it? We need to. You know, we'll see. But the 3-day is a buy signal. Now let's go to the daily. Okay, the daily again, let me just delete this. The daily is also buy signal, but look, one of the most important things that you need to realize is as we step down in time, if you go from the highest time frame to the lowest time frame, the signals get faster and faster. Okay, so that's why you had a lot of these, especially if you go to the 1 hour, right? You would expect a change in signal maybe every 10, 12, 14 hours. On the daily, it's 10, 12, 14 days or faster. Look at this. Yes, we had a buy signal here, but whatever. When this buy signal happened here, okay? Now we're under buy signal. We broke this trend, sell signal. I don't think that triggered. We had a sell signal confirmation. Boom. Sorry, back to buy signal here. So look, you go from, let me change my pen color, but basically, once again, you just see this all the time, and I've learned just to trust it. Trust it a lot. RSI movements from one side to the other, right? From one to the other. Sometimes you get these what I call mid-range reversals, which are a little bit more rare, but more often than not, they're continuations. So look, mid-range reversal, back up, not a new high. Sell signal again, came down. A little bit of a mid-range reversal, lower low, back up, now low. Now you have low, high, look, low and high. So it was sell signal, buy signal here, sell signal there, and that was the daily sell signal here. And now, you could argue, although it did not reset down here below 35, right? You could argue that's a breakup, and we want to go for higher. So one thing before we get to, let's look at maybe the 4 hour and then the 1 hour. One thing I want to see for continuation, this is probably the most what you need to know thing, right? Is we need to break this. And this is that pattern I wanted to show you guys yesterday, or I mentioned in the Telegram, is we really need to get through about 44. If we don't break this, and this is I guess the pattern, but it's a wedge pattern. You could cut that wick off, that's fine, whatever. But this is a pattern we need to break. But again, we're seeing strength in the weekly, strength in the 3-day, daily chart looks good. Yeah, this could be our bottom, and so, but we need to break, for us to continue upwards, we do need to break 44, 45 and get through this level, right? 45, 46. That's the level we could not break back in February last month. Looks like Bitcoin's chopping around quite a bit here at the top. I'll show you guys in the 1 hour what I'm watching. But yeah, so we couldn't break 46 before. We need to break that. I think if we do, the next level I'm looking at is this 52 something. See that? This range. So you break above this level, I think that maybe you're ranging in here for a bit, and then you can go northwards. But I think getting back to retracements and such, I wouldn't honestly expect much more than 55, 58, unless the top's not in and we just somehow go to the moon or whatever. But what I'm looking for is a break of 46 first to continue up to 51, and then to a fib level of 55, 58. Hopefully alts will tell the story, and I keep saying this, but I'm looking for alts to tell the story. I think when alts run hard, that to me signals the end of cycle. So do we have, so a couple things to think about. Are these levels here and here? If we can get to here, hopefully alts do well up here at the top before everything drops again. I don't want to participate downwards unless I'm short, right? So that's my plan, is to watch and look for signals. And if we get a breakdown, then I'll be out of the market unless I'm short, right? So, but we might also have more of a longer term, and this is kind of a look at mid-cycle. So let me scrunch this down a little bit. This is more of a look at mid-cycle, right? So if we're more mid-cycle, and this wasn't the top, and we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, kind of a new high, maybe that, I don't know, whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe up to here. We might have to wait until this top for really for alt season, right? For everything just to go nuts, parabolic. If it happens again, if this all plays out, this is a lot more mid-cycle than anything. If that's mid-cycle, then, it may take longer for alts to do really well. But again, I've mentioned this a few times, but this to me is get what you can get. Basically take whatever and get out, especially on a breakdown right here. Because I do not trust this to just come down here in reverse. Although if it does, we'll be watching it, right? Buy on strength. Pretty easy to do. Just wait for the daily to show a signal. Say it comes down here off the bottom, boom, 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 strength. All right, I'm gonna buy some stuff here. And then I sell some stuff here, right? That's how to do it. Let's see. That was the daily. Let's go to the 4 hour. I want to show you guys. So basically it was monthly was red, green was below it. So daily is a green buy signal. You can see the RSI making a higher low. And we do need RSI to come above here and kind of breach this level. And price to come above 45-ish. So that's something that we need. If this breaks down, you know, I think we could break the bottom here, right? So if this, so here's the deal. If this breaks down, I want to get out ASAP. Me too. I want to be done. I just want to be done with stuff that just bleeds and bleeds and bleeds and bleeds. I really do. Just sick of it, man. I know we all are. No matter where you got in, it's painful just to watch things just go down. Nothing but down and down. Look at anything. You know, FTM, CRV, OMG, like all of our stuff, right? It's just like, come on. So anyways, yeah, I think if we get rejected here, I start to just wonder if that's going to hold too. We'll be watching it though for daily signals. I told a friend of mine, I said, if we get another daily signal, I'm going to be out. I'm selling everything. I'm just done. I'm done sitting. I'm done sitting through this stuff. That's how I feel. We'll see what happens. See if I do it. I want to. I mean, why not, right? This isn't super fast. It's not like it's like, you know, that morning you're buying, that day you're selling. You know, yes, there's fees and such on transactions. I get it, right? But that's fine. I'll pay a fee. I'm not, you know, I don't want to sit around. And that's just my plan and what I want to do, right? So we'll see what happens. We're under buy signal on the daily. That's what you need to know. And the 4 hour, let's go to that. See, we're cooling off a little bit. 41,887. Yeah. Okay. But we moved up. I'll show you guys on ATR what this looks like on the lower time frame stuff. But you know, the average daily candle is like $600 on the day, and this candle was what, 2,500, so 5 times the average candle size. So yeah, and this doesn't mean this is just we're done, it's over. I mean, it's just consolidating at the top, cooling off a little bit. I'll show you the signal on the 1 hour though. So look again on the 4 hour. This was a buy signal, right? We had a buy signal down here. Why? So we had break and break. I'll show you on the 1 hour. It's a little bit more, but from down here, broke trend up here, boom, signal here on break and break, boom, buy signal. The last buy signal we had was 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon, right here, and boom. So I'll show you that on 1 hour. So if this can't, whatever, if this cools down and comes down here, it may do a 50 reversal, but that's a potential short on the lower time frame stuff, right? But might just be cooling off. Okay, so that's 4 hour. We are currently buy signal until we get sell signal. Let me show you what a sell signal would look like. Okay, a sell signal would be something like basically it's a break-in trend with a break-in strength. It's the combination, that's it. So, but you need both, and you need candle to close. That's how the system works. So this has to break this, that has to break that, candle close, and then you're like, okay, higher chance trend has changed and we're making a new trend, then this other trend continues. That's the whole game. Higher chance that trend is changing and has changed, then the trend continues. Okay, so that's a look at 4 hour. Let's go to the 1 hour, and then I'll show you, give you a sneak peek at my map, right? This is what I'm looking at 1 hour. So see this? This is why I think the 1 hour long signal is now invalidated, because, well, it's a little bit hard to tell. Brandon, we have a good chance of breaking through. I think you're right, man. You know, with this being like, what you're talking about, like 46K, I think, yeah, if we come back to it, it's the third test, right? So we're coming up. We've tested it once. We test twice. We've got strength off the bottom. If we break right through, I think it'll be good for us. But you know, just for the near term, we could just cool off a little bit. So this doesn't mean we're going to zero, whatever. But it just means, you know, we may fade a little bit and maybe come back to here. So maybe not be a big drop, but this is on lower time frame stuff. Third time's a charm. I totally agree. It is, many times. Test it. Big pullbacks, freak everybody out, get everybody scared. Everybody's selling all their stuff at the bottom because they can't take it anymore. And then boom, right? Just kind of watching what's going on here. This will be interesting to tell what happens here, and then if we fade and get a reversal, what happens? It's just, honestly, it's a lot of chop at the top near term. But yeah, we could punch right through. We could turn right around right now, bounce off this line, and pow. go get it. Good. So that's that. Yeah, me too. Me too. Yep. I am not living through downturns anymore. So what I do is, and this is, excuse me, the iOshi system, right? Based on my system that I created, back-tested a zillion times. You know, if I can get this automated based on trend lines, it's great. Right now it's manual, but to get it automated with code would be great because then I can apply it to any chart really. But basically, long signal here off the break and break, long, short signal here off the breakdown and the breakdown of this trend. Long here, short here. You can see how these are pretty tight, right? So not a lot of candles, and this is the 1 hour. So these are, I think, 6 hours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours here, 5 hour, whatever. Some are 5, some are longer. See, we had a buy signal here on the 7th that lasted on the trend reversal up. That lasted for I don't know how many candles, maybe 20. So it's longer and shorter, but the average is about 12. And then right here, this was the buy signal yesterday at 4 p.m. Central, right? So what was interesting, let me zoom in to show you guys. This was a sell signal on the breakdown, and I mapped it, and I was actually short. Well, this reversal was kind of surprising, and it was pretty fast and pretty hard. You know, took me out right there. And then we came down, but we faded it. And then, let me zoom in so you can see it. Check this out. We were fading, right? Okay. So I'm like, oh, and I guess I don't have it drawn in. I don't know why I have it here or not here, but anyways. Sell signal activated around here. Fell down, we were trending down, and it just got a big reversal. So that can happen up here at the top too, right? I mean, that's what happens. Things look bearish, and then, you know, a gush of liquidity comes in, and you fly the other way. And it can happen on the short side too, or it can happen on the drop too, right? Rogue wave. My system does not predict rogue waves, or does not anticipate, you know, events that are, you know, tweets and pumps or whatever. Right, but let me show you this. And maybe I want to show you guys maybe a replay on the 5 minute, because what was interesting as I was watching this last night, we consolidated right here for about an hour, right before we just ran. But anyways, it's a buy signal, created this trend, and then big move. Right, this was, I think, when there was a document that was published, then I got retracted on the internet about Yellen's comments about the executive order on crypto. And that it actually is very supportive language, right? So see, again, we're reversing. I think we're just chopping around at the top here. Not quite a reversal of trend. This is a really strong move, so I think it's going to take quite a bit to reverse it. Let's go to, well, we're gonna have to go to a different chart. Let's do that. Back to like a clean version. Let me just delete all that. Go to this, and so let's look at this. So you look at that 42086. Right here. Actually, right here at 39.4. See this? And I had this drawn on my chart, and I know it's more of a horizontal. It is kind of a horizontal line, but I had this drawn. So look. Yeah, that looks good. I mean, we're just bouncing up, right? We're bouncing. Not surprising. Let's see. I think I had this drawn like this. Basically, I was watching the 5 minute time frame just to see if we could break this line. But if you do a replay on this, we came right up to it, and we're stall, and then pop, right? This was at whatever, 2120, whatever that is. But yeah, big move, big candle. But see how that kind of held it. Anyways, I was just thinking last night, I'm like, you know, I get a lot, you know, you hear people hate diagonals, but you watch them get honored all the time. You know, price runs right up to it. I mean, I would have drawn that before, but so often you see trend lines, you know, be honored for whatever. So anyways, I use them in my system, you know, basically to try to evaluate when trends change from, you know, either bullish to bearish, or vice versa. So yeah, that was last night. That's breakup. So that's all the signals. Nice move up. I think 46 or 40, 44.6, whatever that, 44.6, whatever. The high point we looked at yesterday. We need to make a new higher high. If we rejected, I hate to see it, but whatever. And then on, let's go to the fractal. So for that, let's do Coinbase. This will have the data. So basically, like, let's see where we are with the fractal. So we did deviate pretty much, pretty good. So if I go back to, here we go. Okay, the fractal is pulled from, it's frac time, baby. Let's get it, right? If we get this fractal to work out, it'll be great for all of us. So the fractal is pulled from back here. It's a bear market fractal from here to here, right? If you extend it. So what I do is basically do one of these, drag it all the way over, and load it up here. Let's see. Okay. So if we bring this up like that, hold on, doing it on the fly. I gotta remember how this goes. Okay, so what I'm gonna do basically is stretch it like that, and then pull it down to try to fit it. All right, so to stretch it out a little bit, there we go. It kind of matches, right? I thought we had a better match than that. Anyways, that was the match, right? That was the match we were running with, that we had this pump right on time. Oh, FracNet. Hey, Brandon, I'm with you, man. I've fracked a lot of wells and in my day. And I've been on many jobs. So this is the fractal, right? This is what we have as far as separation. We're pretty far separated. But, you know, if a fractal is more structure and range, like a lot of people use a fractal as like range, high and low, right? So one could, I know we violated it here, right? So it's not perfect or anything. My nose is itching. It's not perfect, but hold on, just have to check something. So basically, yeah, I mean, we separated it. And honestly, when we fell out of here, and this was, you know, back, I guess, 6 days ago, but maybe a week ago, when we fell away from this, it was like, guys, I think we have violated it more than we've gone up. So, you know, in my book, I'm not really trusting that the fractal is in play anymore. Or I think we're doing something different. So because of this pretty large separation, but it doesn't mean we can't still run up here, right, to 56. And that's that fib level retrace, right? So on the fib level, you know, it's a retrace back to the 618 on the fractal. So we'll see that. But that's the separation from the fractal. So what else, guys? Oh, I want to show you one other thing. Let's go back to the daily, and what I'm going to put on is the iOshi MA pack, right? And what this does is allows you to put on multiple moving averages on one chart, right? So one of the things that, and again, I think this is a bullish sign more than anything, but look at all your MAs consolidated, right? So this is let's look. You have the MA20, the MA50, the MA200, and the EMA8. So the fastest is the green in 8. The slowest is the white. It's the 200. Yellow's 50 and blue's 20. Okay. So this is, look at this. When you have EMA consolidation or MA consolidation, you're usually primed for a bigger move, right? So now you're seeing all these MAs scrunched together, right? So everything's coming down to a point. And you normally go from, and this is what I would just say is you go from a narrow state, right, where all the MAs are together. That's everything's narrow. The distance between the MAs is small. And you normally go to a wide state, right? So you went from, and this is more narrow up top here, but then you go to a wide state. See how the 8 is separated here, the 8, and what's that, the 20 and the 50? So you have more of a wide state, and then they pinch back together. So normally, how I would look at that, and I do look at this sometimes on a lower time frame. See, even back here, you went from narrow state, see that wide state, and then you go back to narrow state, wide state, narrow state. It's just looking at distances like MA gap, right? Like the gaps between the two MAs. So yeah, going from one to the other and back again. So now we're in a narrow state. So this would indicate to me that the next move, the next kind of leg in our journey here, is it's going to move to a wide state. Hopefully for us, that means it's up and we get a wide state up. So these MAs would start separating, something like that. So MA consolidation, in my mind, higher low off the bottom, RSI strengthening. I think if we break 44 something, 44.6 or whatever that is, that'll be good for us, and we can move back up here and do that. So yeah, nobody can predict for Russia. I think in the charts it was, especially this volatility or whatever. You just see a lot of that, especially more in crypto than anything else. Like futures and whatever seem to be a lot more tame, but you see a lot of it's just really choppy. It's really what I would call body. So like it's all run by bots and algos, and they fire up and fire down, and it's just it's more choppy and volatile than I would say the futures market is. I think the futures market is more liquid. It's bigger market, harder to kind of move around. But even Bitcoin's still pretty volatile. So yeah, guys, that's kind of all I had. I don't even have Phil with me today. Let's see if Phil. But that's the look at the signal system. The charts. I would say again, kind of like, what's the 5-second takeaway? We are looking. I mean, we are under buy signal in the daily, right until we break down. However, don't forget, we have gone back and forth quite a bit. So it's not a clear, like I said in, what was it, the video on Monday, I think. It's not clear because we're not, hold on, let me get it right. It's not clear because it's not a trend yet, right? So it's really easy to kind of do that. You just kind of look at your fibs and your levels right on trends. But when you're here consolidating, trying to kind of predict, and I hate predicting, but anticipate which way you might move out, it's a little bit more challenging, right? So let's see. 1, 2, 3. Let's go back to the. Well, how are you guys doing? Brandon, how are you doing, man? You hanging in there? Man, I am ready to be done. Actually, I in my trading system, tell you what, pretty sweet, because I made a pretty big breakthrough. And it was a pretty big psychological breakthrough for me. But it was a lot more of my system, and when to take trades, when not to take trades, and how to win in the markets. And it really comes down to trusting the signal system. So, watching, baby. Yeah, I hear you. Well, that's what's going on. That's kind of the 411. We're watching, see how this level, we'll see if we can kind of break a high above here. Or if this kind of ranges sideways a little bit. Let's look and see what, if I can get the equities market up. We'll see if that made a reversal and continued up. Yep, okay. See the red candle? We're climbing up again. So yeah, just like this red candle here, it might be just up, you don't move up. You don't always move up or down just straight green or red candles. Sometimes you do. You know, you get these orderly sell-offs and then these big straight up only pumps and then these sell-offs, and so you don't have to see. But that's about all I had for today, guys. Signal system, mentioned the EO, executive order, showed you the Ema Consolidation. The Qs are here. Hey guys, what's going on? Yeah, of course. You know, it's what I tell you what, guys, I was thinking about this. All this learning to YouTube and putting my stuff out there and trying to help people read charts and whatever, and I'm working on content and everything else, but this has done a ton for me too. You know, when it comes to basically having to publish to the world my view of markets and charts on a consistent basis has elevated my game. So, of course, I'm glad we're doing this, and you know, we're getting to know some people, we're helping each other out, just trying to be successful in markets, right? And learning to be more mindful of charts and markets and not miss tops, not miss major tops, right? No, and seize opportunity, right? But yeah, man, up only would be so sweet, especially for some of these alts. Let's look at one last thing, and then I guess we'll probably cut it. But one last thing. Let's go back to crypto and let's look at total 3, just as a chart, kind of standalone. Oh yeah, I had the fractal up. So that was, wait, on the S&P chart? Are you talking about the Dow Jones? Sorry, Brandon, are you talking about the Dow Jones one or the Bitcoin fractal? So let's look at, real quick, let's look at total 3, just as a chart. Pretty choppy. But as an altcoin chart. Yep. This you want total 3 to reverse this trend. See? So until we do that, now we might break out, right? It's a lower low. I'm not sure about this, but futures. Okay, let me think about that. Futures. The futures fractal from the Dow Jones. Maybe that's it. That's a hard one to do. I can do it though. If you want to see the Dow Jones futures fractal, we can look at that. I think we've fallen a little bit harder than that fractal did in the 1929 time period. But anyways, real quick on total 3, yeah, what we want to do is we want to reverse this downtrend, right? We are seeing, I mean, that's a wick. I'm not sure how much I trust total 3 because it's a calculated chart, but maybe that's bullish, right? Falling wedge. Basically, we're waiting for this moment, and this was back last year in July. We're waiting for this breakout, right? So that's our up only moment, I think, is we go up. So let's do the Dow. Let's do the Dow fractal. We'll go to equities. This is a little bit harder to do. I'm not gonna lie. So I think it's on this because I can get all the data. Might have to go to weekly, but let's try it. It's gonna take me a couple minutes. Yeah, no, I might get the data. I go all the way back to in time. See if it loads. Yeah, it's loading. Okay. So what I do is I go back here in time. Yeah, hope this is what you're asking for. Let's see if there's a resolution here. Because there is. We're good. I think we can get it. 1935, here we go. Right here. This. Okay. We basically, so what you do is you come in here and take the bars tool. And I was getting both these lobes. So that's a lobe, that's a lobe. High point fall off. And the focus area, honestly, is kind of right in here. That's the whole theory. If we get blow off tops. So what I do is now I do my whole little grab and drag thing. Grab it and drag it all the way to current. And then it's a pretty big stretch routine because the scale is so different, right? So 87. Okay, good. Must be doing it right. All right. So what I do is I go in, basically bars is just copy paste the chart. And then you can hit Control X and cut it, and then go to a different chart and paste the fractal on the different chart. Did you know that? So you could take like, oh, I guess we're too far. You can take like a Bitcoin fractal to an alt or whatever. You can take an S&P fractal to a Bitcoin, whatever. One chart to another. It's possible. You just basically just select the data and hit Control X. Well, that would be cut, and then Control V to paste on the current. So where are we? Dow Jones way back here. So I have to kind of come and find where we are. Let me shrink this down so I can grab it. Okay. So I basically pull this up, and this is daily. So let's see. There we go. Shrink this down because that's what I need to do. So if we overlay, and I don't think I can print enough daily chart. Well, watch this. The fractal stays in daily, but I can switch the chart to weekly. It better not disappear. Hold on, where'd it go? Come on, don't make me redo everything. Crap, I should have copied it. Hold on. Dang it. Oh, there it is. All right, we're good. All right. So what happens is, let me see if I can get it on the weekly chart. See if it overlays. No? Okay. We'll do it the hard way. So basically what I do is, I know I'm messing. This is just what I do. When I mess around with charts, I'm like, oh no, I messed it up. So basically, let's see. There are two lobes from back here. That's one of them right there, right? I think this is a match to that. So there's a lobe and a lobe. That might be the second one. I'm also working with constraints on the chart, right? Because I'm in daily resolution, so I don't have a lot of chart to work with to get the entire time frame in the chart, right? But anyways, if we stretch this, whoop. Okay, let's leave that over there for now. If we stretch this, just, man, it looks just, I mean, it's a 20-year fractal. I think it's something like that. Okay. It's not the most perfect thing in the world, right? But you have a lobe, and I think this stretches back, but maybe like that, and then you come back here and stretches back. Something like that. That's just the work you have to do with fractals, right? Is moving things around. I'll show you also what's cool is the crude oil CL fractal, right? It's a from 2008. I want to show you guys that chart. I think I mentioned it, but basically the big question is, are we doing one of these, right? So this is our Dow Jones Fractal, and no, I got it. We're good, Brandon. So if you zoom in on this fractal right here, check this out. If you zoom in, look. I mean, the range is, I mean, we've overranged it, right? But I mean, it's more structurally, like you could, basically as it tells a story. Come up here near the top, you go sideways, you range sideways for a while, you chop around, you have a final drop, and then you vault up, right? So this still, in my opinion, is still in play. I mean, like, I don't know when I would decide that it's not in play anymore, but you know, until we just start falling away, right? Doing one of these, we're like, guys, the fractal's not valid anymore. But for a while, and for now anyways, you know, this is still in play. You know, that we reverse from here, we break a new all-time high, go up for one last chop, and then top. Still in play. How would that happen? I don't know. I mean, that's the thing, right? There's so much crazy in the world right now that, you know, nickel's going to whatever, wheat's parabolic to the moon. You're like, how could that happen with equities? Well, it could, right? And it's just one of those things where you're like, how could Bitcoin just run today to new all-time high? Well, it could. And you see, you know, things like that happen. And I was telling another friend of mine, you know, we seem to live in a world these days of like, oh, I didn't expect that to happen, or crazy stuff, right? Where it's just like, man, global pandemic, shutting everybody down, locking the economy down and shutting everything down, and mandatory whatevers, and And now we have, you know, Russia, and now we have commodities going nuts. And I mean, don't be surprised to be surprised, honestly, because this thing could turn around and we just go up and do one of these, you know, and crypto could follow too. And I do honestly think, I think that if we get blow off tops in equities, I don't think Bitcoin has to make a new all-time high. So I think this could, honestly, we could get blow offs in equities and Bitcoin could retrace. Hopefully with alts going nuts, we still get all that. It'll be great. And then we start falling down, and I still get my dream of riding this down, right? But my dream since like what, 2010? You know, been waiting to ride the drop. So SHIB 1 cent. Yep. That would be ridiculous. I mean, 1 cent. Hey, anything, I mean, like, that's the thing. Anything can happen, right? And it's just like, no, it can't go. It can't do it. And you're like, well, you know, what about all this other crazy stuff that's happened? So anything can happen, right? You know, that's what you know, when I listen to people and they're just so convicted of what's going to happen, or the top is in for sure, or the bottom is in for sure. And it's like, nobody knows that, right? It's not possible to know that. Let me show you guys this. You'll like that. Brennan, if you're oil and gas guy, check this out. So we showed you the crude chart, right? But I don't remember in real time here thinking through if I showed you guys. We looked at this the previous times, maybe 08. No, I think we looked at this. Anyways, every drop, yes, we looked at this. Every drop's pretty violent, right? So fall off. And I was just telling somebody this. The narrative at the top was oil is going to the moon. It's unstoppable. It'll never come down. And I lived through this. Look, from 145 down to 35 in a few months. Let's crash, right? So it went parabolic and crashed, up and crashed, up and crashed, up, crash. And now we're parabolic, you know? So I think that, you know, historically the moves down have been violent. And so I know the narrative is like oil's going to 200 and everybody on Twitter saying it, and it can't go lower, and it's going, just be ready for 300, and everybody's printing stories like that. But that's what you hear when you get up here at the top, parabolic, right? You also hear oil's going to, you know, it's death, never, look, narrative down here, never coming back. Oil's dead, no investment, no one wants it, ESG's in vogue, right? Sell all your assets, oil's never going to be anything. But here we are. Anyways, the whole thing I wanted to show you was this fractal, right? So it's kind of neat. I did it myself. If you do one of these from here to here, look at that. Kind of neat, huh? Look, kind of in that range. Look, range from here to here. I didn't stretch the fractal top to bottom, so I haven't stretched price. And I'm not sure if I did a fib move, whatever, but if this is like a percent move on the fib, but fractal's pretty close. But see, sorry, again, see how we had multiple days painting at the top? I kind of look, when I look at charts, I look at like, I call it wall thickness, or like layers of paint on a chart. Because when you get these that's why I mentioned, I'm not sure I'd short it yet. What I'm looking for is maybe a couple more days, more candles of that. And then you break down, right? So that would be, for me, I'd want to see that, and a top on lower RSI. Let's bring back the RSI so you can see it. See that? So what this would look like, and it would make sense to me, is we chop around at the top, and what we do is make a higher high and lower RSI. Just a classic top, right? And sorry, my nose is killing me. RSI falls off, price, so we get a break and break. So something like whatever, maybe it's that, whatever. But RSI breaks, trend breaks, boom. That's when I would enter, right there on candle close. I'll just wait. So, but yeah, from here, because the opportunity is on the short side, and when you look at it, boy, are they violent. You know, these fall offs, right? Not surprising to everybody. So that's the thing, you know, like, you hear the narrative. It's like, you can, when you start looking for it, So everybody's talking about $200 oil, and it's can't go any lower, and we're never breaking 100. We're never going below 100 again. Everything else, like, you know, like be careful. If you look back at the chart, that's the exact same thing people said back here, and in all of these moves, right? You know, catches everybody by surprise most times. Let me see what else. 330. What else, guys? Yeah, Bitcoin's just chopping up top right here and digesting the big move. So we'll see if that holds up. Maybe we get a next leg up, right? The move last night caught a lot of people off guard, and but that's okay. 1 hour signal system had it as a long. Well, that's kind of all I had, guys. You know, we'll see what happens here. Be interesting if this legs up, you know, very well could. But that's it. Thanks. This is an hour. We'll kind of cap it there. We'll do it again next week. And but thanks, guys, for joining. That was good. Hope you guys are doing good. Hang in there. Things are looking a little bit brighter. I know it's volatile here, though. You know, like yesterday, 24 hours ago, it wasn't as promising. But things can change quickly. So yeah, we got a 1 hour green, and we'll see how this consolidation resolves. Right, so that's it, guys. Enjoy your day. I'm gonna cut it, and we'll see you back in the Telegram or other videos. So thanks. See you next time.